Hey ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is HD and I'm bringing you guys another set of StarCraft 2 professional games before I head out to the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, I'm flying out tomorrow. My airplane leaves at 10 in the morning. And so, as I promised you guys, I wanted to bring you as many IPL4 qualifier matchups as I could bring before the tournament actually begins, and I've been getting really positive responses about these games so far. So here comes another set at you guys. It is going to be Mr. Zenex Life, the orange Zerg at the top right-hand corner of Calm Before the Storm. And he is actually more of a Code A player. I don't think he's ever really been able to attain Code S. But that's okay. The thing here is, I feel like I bring you guys a lot of the highlight matches, a lot of the great players like Whiterun, Stefano, Don. Well, I need to bring you more Don Reku is what I need to do. But right now, considered by most to be the best Zerg player in the world. But I do try to bring you guys, a lot of the Code S matches, the top of the pyramid. But StarCraft 2 is a game that, it's like I said, a pyramid. It encompasses a lot of different levels of play, and it's always fun to bring you guys some of the Code A and even some amateur matches as well, just for fun. So just see the mistakes and see what they can, what players that aren't at the top level, what they do in matchups. So here we go. It is going to be Zenex Life. His opponent will be actually Creator Prime, and he is going to be the blue Protoss down in the bottom right hand corner. Also a similar situation, never really getting up into the top level, but still, these players are sponsored, they're on pro gaming teams, and bottom line, they're Korean, so by default they have to be good. So it is going to be Creator Prime, the blue Protoss in the bottom right hand corner, and his opponent will be Zenex Life, the orange Zerg at the top right. Once again, if I want to urge you guys to go ahead and get your tickets for IPL4, although it might be too late now because it's really going to be in a couple of days. So make sure you guys tune in on Twitch TV or Justin.tv/IGN Pro League on Friday. Friday Pacific time at 10 a.m. That's when the festivities start, and I do believe I'll be opening the event as well. So make sure to tune in. And what the heck? Do I see 3 hatcheries? Wow, Zenex Life here going for a triple hatch build before spawning pool, before any gas even. He's getting the gas first, and this is almost like an ode. It's like a tribute to Ma Jae-yoon here. Ma Jae-yoon, of course, being Savior, the Bonjour of StarCraft Brood War, and when Savior came into the scene, he was known for going for the 3 hatcheries before spawning pool. He revolutionized ZV everything. It became Savior versus everything, and everybody started to copy that build. It became so successful. But in StarCraft 2, a lot of people thought, this is not really the best build because now you have queens, and the reason why you built so many hatcheries was to make up for the deficit of larva. But now you have queens, you don't really need to do that. So I'm a little curious as to why Life has triple hatched before the spawning pool. That makes things a little interesting here. Of course, the probe did see that. Now, I do have to say the map is Calm Before the Storm, and it's a big map. It's like Crevasse or Terminus, and it's kind of true to its name, Calm Before the Storm. You macro up, and then there's a big fight because there's so many bases. There's an in-base, for crying out loud. Of course, that just makes you able to expand at will. So perhaps that's why Life decided to expand so rapidly, but still, we'll have to see what the Protoss is going to do here. Mr. Creator Prime has a lot of interesting options available to him, and look at this, he's going to go for a Twilight Council, and really, as a Protoss player, right now the Pandora's box has had to been opened, because any Protoss or any Terran or anybody, for that reason, that sees a Zerg that expands like this without getting the pull first, you've got to be thinking, I'm going to attack, I'm going to make something happen here, and there's so many possibilities. And it looks like Mr. Creator Prime here has decided to go for the expansion, or not the expansion route, for the technology route. He's going to get Twilight Council down right away, and we'll see which way he goes with this. You might be able to kill off this Overlord as well, doing 10 damage per shot to it. Keep your eyes on it, and he will be able to kill it off. But interesting, I think, that our Protoss, Mr. Creator, has decided to go for a tech route to combat the mass expansion of the Zerg. And did I just see a Dark Templar coming up? Dark Shrine coming up? I did. A Dark Shrine is coming up. Wow, that's so interesting. In my opinion, if I was the Protoss player right now and I saw the Zerg player expanding so rapidly right now, the very first things that go through your head is, hey, the Zerg is not going to have that many attacking units. He's trying to drone up. He's trying to be greedy. You know, the best thing to do is attack. Attack with my brute raw forces like Zealots, Marines, or Zerglings, depending what race I am. So this is very, very interesting that our Protoss has decided to tech up to combat the expanding from the Zerg. Very, very, very interesting, and we'll see how this is going to play out. Of course, Mr. Zenex Life already has the lair on the way in the Evo Chamber as well, so he has the potential to get the detection he needs to combat those Dark Templar. We'll just have to see whether or not he invests into a Spore Crawler. You know, one right here at the front of the creep would be great. An Overseer, of course, is possible as well because the layer is done. And speaking of an Overseer, there is one making its way into the main of the Protoss right now. It looks like Mr. Creator is planning to go for an expansion to follow this up. And where are those DTs? There's 3 DTs now warping at the front door at the natural, or not the natural, at the front of the third. And Life now coming in, he sees the Dark Shrine, beautiful scout, and oh my god, I accidentally hit a button. Excuse me, guys, that was my bad. So he does see the Dark Shrine rewinding. I've chrono boosted in time, and let's see now that he's seen that DT. He's seen the Dark Shrine. He should be able to get a Spore Crawler up, or at least getting an Overseer back in the main, and he will. He's also making an attack with Zerglings at the same time, going to be able to surround the Zealot, and he kills off a Sentry. Great plays by Mr. Life. And I don't know why I keep calling these guys by the abbreviation Mr. But Life is going to be able to kill off the Nexus, or at least force a cancel. Well done right there. And an attack that has thwarted the Protoss's hopes at getting another base, and he kills off all the DTs at the front door, except for one. It looks like this guy decided to go over to the top left-hand corner, but he did deflect the Dark Templar with the Overseer and the Roaches at the front. And now, wow, look at this. Life, thinking that he's got a huge edge, is planning to make another attack, but I don't know if I actually agree with this. When you're ahead like this, and you know the Protoss is behind, and you've kept him on 2 bases for so long, I think it's a good idea to keep expanding and keep building up your army, but he really wants to prevent the Protoss player from getting that 3rd base, making a huge attack right now. Those 2 sentries are trapped in their force fields, keeping them safe, but the Nexus is under attack, and it looks like the Zerglings now changing their mind, wanting to go after the sentries. They'll be able to kill both of those, and maybe a 3rd sentry as well. Big plays by Life. He's now inside of Creator's main. There's a Dark Templar that just warped in, and there isn't enough detection here, so eventually the DT will be able to clean up, and an Immortal only taking about 36 points of permanent damage to its body. But, you know, I kind of half like the attack and half don't like the attack. On one hand, he's ahead. He knows the DT harass failed. He could have just played a standard game and gotten further ahead, but on the other hand, a lot of Zergs really struggle when that Protoss gets the 3rd base, and maybe he was just thinking, you know what, I don't want to let myself get into that situation where the Protoss gets 3 bases, builds up a huge army, and then uh-oh, what do I do now? So now he's going for a Nidus network. Wow. So, like I said, guys, these are the highlight replays from the qualifier of IPL4, and haven't been disappointing so far. Very interesting build orders from both these guys. Life now has a Nidus network, and he's making the Worm in the middle of the map. Of course, who needs creep spread when you can just transport your units and teleport them wherever you want to go? And here we come, some Roaches and Zerglings and Hydras coming out. I think, yeah, there's a Hydra coming out as well. This Warp Prism over here cannot get into the base because there's a Spore Crawler, and it looks like now Roaches and Hydras are now threatening the front door of Creator's 3rd, and I don't know how Creator's going to be able to hold this off. The Photon Cannon's beginning to go down. He does have 2 Immortals at the front. He's warping in reinforcements as we speak. Another Nidus Worm coming up through the back, Lucira style here from Zenex Life, trying to distract his opponent, but it looks like the Protoss was all over it, leaving some forces at home, and was able to deflect that. So now he only has to worry about 1 frontal attack. Well done by Creator, but is Life going to keep this attack going? I don't think I agree with this. Even a Contaminate coming down on that Nexus to prevent the Pro production. I really don't think I agree with this, ladies and gentlemen, because that Stalker number getting bigger and bigger, and I think Creator's going to be able to make a hold here. Life just getting way too aggressive, just throwing Roaches and Hydras away essentially for free, and the only thing he got out of that was delaying Pro production. Now the Overseer has gone down, and Dark Templars can begin to make their way on the field, and wow, Life is in a lot of trouble. Don't know about this attack at all. He is going to have to pull back, and now very bad situation for Life. He just threw away a ton of resources, and really allowed Creator to get back into this game, trying to retreat now before that Nidus Worm goes down, and he was able to get back inside. Of course, when your units go inside the worm or the network, they kind of go into this state of purgatory where they can pop out of any worm and network that may be on the map, unless for whatever reason a worm or all the worms and networks die. So thankfully for Life there, he was able to retreat most of his units, and now he's sending them back into the network. And if we look at the control groups here, I'm clicking it, he has almost three full control groups worth of Roaches, Hydras, and Zerglings. So a lot of power here in underground, the underground power, if you will, ready to go at any point in time. And I don't think that the Protoss right now is, you know, ahead in this game. I think he's got a chance now because of the mistakes of Life, but the problem really is the Protoss doesn't have Colossus. He never went into Colossus. He's just now getting the support bay down, so Colossus tech is going to be so late in this game. And Roaches and Hydras really thrive, especially Hydras, when there are no Colossi to worry about. So we can see here that Life is making another attack. Oh, he's making a Nidus Worm in the main as well, and he can support it with the Hydras on the low ground. That worm is getting dangerously close to being complete. It's about halfway done. Meanwhile, a major confrontation at the front of the Protoss base. Roaches and Hydras trying to drill their way through. Stalker's trying to blink to the back, and now the Nidus Worm was killed off. It looks like an Immortal coming out just in time, and the Immortal doing 50 damage a shot to that worm, was able to kill it off, and wow, unbelievable. Life just making another huge attack that I don't think is going to pay off. He's throwing away resources now into this wall of Stalkers and Immortals, and I don't know what he's doing. I think he just led Creator right back into this game, and now Creator, I think, is definitely ahead because he's getting Colossus out. He's got one Colossus on the way. Extended Thermal Lance is coming as well. If Life can hold off this, or not Life, if Creator can hold off this attack and get some Colossi out, man, the Zerg is going to have to completely switch up his strategy. He's going to have to get Corruptors, maybe some Infestors as well, because this is not going to work when Colossi arrive, and it's not even working now against Stalker Immortal. And wow, look at the upgrades for Life, or for Creator. He's got 3 weapons on his ground troops, so they're absolutely slaying the Roaches and Hydras, and Life has to GG. Unreal matchup. What a build order from both these guys. But you know, on Calm Before the Storm here, usually you would expect a macro game, totally conventional play style. But no, both these guys decided, screw that. They're going to throw, you know, the cookie cutter build out of the window. I'm going to go Nidus Networks and Roaches and Hydras and Dark Templar and, you know, totally just get buck nasty with it. Unfortunately, it didn't play out as expected for Life. And I really think Life had this game, you know, he had the edge. I think if he had just expanded, transitioned into a more conventional, you know, Brute Lord Infestor style, I think he would have been in a much better spot. I think there were certain times when attacking there was not the right thing to do, and unfortunately, you know, he committed himself, and it was just a terrible situation after that. Also, big ups to Creator for getting so many upgrades out for his Stalkers, +3 weapons. That's insane. That's Linsanity. So anyways, guys, we're gonna go ahead and go into game 2 here between Creator and Life. Great first game to start the set off, and stay tuned, guys. Game 2 will be coming out next. Make sure you guys tune in to IPL4. That'll be this Friday. See you guys there. HD signing out.